today we've got our friends Lindsay, Joe, Justin, and then, well, I would say Cullen, but he's not really a friend of the podcast. He's just a co-host of the podcast. We are going to do our top albums of 2025. I'll just say up front, guys, I don't know about you all, but 2025, maybe the best year of music I've ever had in my own life.
Mason says that every year. He says that every year.
I do think I say that every year, but I do think definitively this year actually does take the cake. Cullen, I remember years ago we did like this kind of like best years of, at least of music listening years for us, best years of albums that we've ever had. And I remember like maybe it was like 2011 or 2012 that like kind of took the cake at that time
2011
of the best years. I'm just saying, for me, like I remember 2011, incredible year of albums. I think 2025 now is my top year. I truly believe that.
I think you said that exact same thing last year.
Yeah, well, even if I did, I don't believe it anymore.
Recency bias, Mason. That's what it is.
Well, I love a good little recency bias. So anyway, 2025, incredible year, at least for me. We'll find out from these other great, incredible people. But yeah, we're just going to go through our top 3 albums. So each one of us in order. So like from least favorite of the 3 albums that we're about to list. Obviously, all of these albums we love, but we're going to go from least favorite to the best album for each one of us of 2025. So we're going to go in order. We'll do 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll mention some honorable mentions. So yeah, we got some great people here. Before we dive into all of that, I do think it's worthwhile to let each one of these incredible people introduce themselves and say whatever they want to say about themselves. So Lindsay, you're clearly the coolest looking person on the screen right now with your Talking Heads shirt.
Thank you. It's Viking dudes.
Viking.
Those over-the-ear headphones. Yeah. Say more about yourself, Lindsay. What do you do in the world? Yeah. What do you? I don't know. Whatever you want to say.
I am Lindsay. That's me. I don't know. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, like slightly outside of St. Louis, Missouri. I am a writer. I am a professional blogger. That is my job, but I also do a lot of writing on the side. And I've got 3 kids, and I think the only notable thing I've really done this year is I have successfully bullied an art museum. So that's pretty much it.
Bullied
Hey,
an art museum.
Lindsay,
Yeah.
every time that you write on the side, do you ever say, yeah, I've got my side piece I got to work on right now?
Yeah, I say that every single time. Always got a side piece going. At least 2 side pieces, usually.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's always got a side piece and my regular piece.
You're also probably the biggest Foxing fan of all time, right?
I am the biggest, probably. Yeah, I don't know.
My
probably.
band's killed them.
Oh, no, wait.
No, I'm just kidding. It's just my band recently opened for them in Alabama, and we've been making the joke that they broke up because of us.
Probably.
I loved that they did that. I thought that was so cool. Where they basically
That they broke up? You're a big fan of breakups?
Stop that. No, I am not. In every single city that they toured on for their self-titled album, they had a different local band open up for them. But they're a St. Louis band, and they had their farewell show on Saturday, and I cried multiple times, and it was great. I loved it. And thank you so much, Justin, for killing them.
I will say, it was like one of the coolest farewells. Like, hey,
It was.
we're not saying we'll never make music again, but also, this is just healthy for us to take a little time.
Dude, I cannot take Cullen seriously. He looks like PC Principal. I know I've already made that joke before we started, but oh my God, I can't take him seriously.
I just got to get home to Strong Woman.
What will really help you all is just never take Cullen seriously, and then you're going to understand Cullen way better once you do.
How do I look like The Rock?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
All right, Joe, you're next on my screen. Joe, what do you do in the world?
I work in tech. And I do some music, and I listen to music.
And that's pretty much it.
I mean,
Joe, can we?
And you're just maybe. You're also maybe the biggest teddy bear of a human being that there ever has been.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Joe, can we maybe like give a little teaser about what you're working on at all? Please.
Okay. I'm working on a new music project, and it'll probably unveil in late 2026, or maybe about a year from now.
Before the next Idle Threat record. Oh.
Hell.
Very stoked about it. I think most of y'all have heard it. I think it's a little bit more intense than my previous outing, and aggressive. Lyrically, I'm definitely not holding back. I'm pretty pissed, so I'm pretty stoked. And then there's some stuff that sounds a little familiar for those folks who are familiar with Lightworker, but there's also some parts that are straight up like, melodic death metal. So I'm pretty stoked. We have about 3 songs written musically. 2 of them need vocals, which I'm putting on this weekend. And we've got some pretty cool guests already lined up. Yep.
Hell yeah. And for those who aren't aware, like, Joe is legitimately one of the most talented vocalists I've ever heard. Like, and that's not just like glazing him right now, even though he's out of focus right now on my screen, at least.
I'm a glaze you like a donut.
Yeah, that's right, Joe.
Bring it on.
A donut.
A Joe nut.
I'm gonna give you a Joe nut.
For real though, if you haven't heard Lightworker, go listen to Lightworker. And if you have heard Lightworker, be on the lookout for Joe Calderon coming to your headphones sooner.
The new project's called Joe Nut, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all in that like scratchy, like death metal, black metal like font, it's just, yeah. Except
you can like
but
barely
it's also
pick out
dripping
that
a
it
little
says
bit
Joe
too.
Nut.
Ooh, like a glazed donut
Exactly.
or a glazed Joe nut.
Exactly.
All right, and last but not least, Justin Jones, JJ, as you're known to me.
Jonas.
I'm basically one of the co-hosts of this podcast at this point. I've been on like a dozen times, but hi.
No kidding.
My name is Justin, and I'm an alcoholic, and I work at a grocery store, and I'm a counselor in the afternoon. I work with a bunch of kids, and then I'm a very part-time member of a part-time band called Idle Threats.
No, you're a full-time member of a very, 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 very part-time band.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, we should have. I love how I've said this literally 2 years in a row, but we should have a record come in the next like little bit. So hopefully by the new year, Idle Threat has new music, but we'll see. I still think we're gonna get GTA 6 before then.
Maybe you'll be in GTA 6. That's what you're holding out for.
Dude, that'd be so sick, but there's no way.
There is no way. You're right. But here's the other deal. Again, Justin has showed at least most of us the new tunes, and they are so much better than the last record. And the last record was pretty damn good. So be on the lookout for some Idle Threat sometime in the next decade.
I've leaked it to everybody, so just DM me. I'll probably send it to you.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Don't let the higher ups hear that, though.
Oh, yeah. For legal purposes, that was a joke. I don't do that.
That's right. You heard that tooth and nail. No, you didn't, because you don't listen to this podcast. But all right. Let's do our top 3 albums of 2025. I'm so excited to hear you all because I just loved this year so much. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of overlap. It's totally fine if there's overlap in this episode. But yeah, I'm just so excited to hear what you all were listening to and jamming out to. So, who wants to go first? What was your third favorite album of 2025? Who wants to start out with it?
I think Lindsay should go first.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm good with that. My number 3 is no, you can't do that signal anymore. My number 3 is. Sorry.
Hold on. What signal did you do?
No.
Wow. And you said I was
Everything's
going to
been
get
co-opted.
canceled.
Everything's been co-opted by white supremacists.
What did you do? The OK symbol?
So I said like
Wow.
number 3, but I meant like this, number 3.
Well, you want to know how
You
my
do
son
this?
does it? This is how
No,
my son does 3.
Oh no.
That's like a referee.
Nice.
Wait, is that
That's
the
like
shocker?
a referee.
I know, it's the coolest thing in the world. I'm like, dude, you're the best.
Oh, kids are awesome.
Oh my god.
Anyway. So, number 3 is PD USA's The Yips.
Oh, I knew
yes.
that was coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an album. If people are not familiar with him, he is basically a very he has a TikTok, but he's not a TikTok musician. Like he has a comedy TikTok, and he also has music, and he's really good at taking really masculine stereotypes and making them very vulnerable. And with this album, he worked with Chris Walliford from Death Cab for Cutie. And a lot of that influence comes through, with the guitars and all of that, because from what I understand, Chris actually went into the studio and did a lot of the guitar work so that PD could just focus on making the music. And the result is just a very stellar album. Pretty much every single song from that album at a different point has been my favorite song. And it's just constantly cycling through. So God in the Gray is a really good one. There's a song called When Two People Drift Apart where it's talking about basically friendships and the friendship breakup. And I think it's maybe one of the best songs, maybe the only song I've ever heard about that. But it's a very heartfelt album. And I just think that he did a fantastic job. I got really into him through his last album, USA, from Meg Ryan, the previous guest on this podcast. She told me about him. So then after that, I just haven't stopped listening. And then he put out a new one, and I can't stop listening to that one either.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
He was
PD
great
actually-
at Furnace Fest too. We saw him at Furnace Fest, and
yeah.
it was fantastic.
One of my favorite Furnace Fest sets. So PD. So what's funny? One of my most listened to songs this year was a PD song. It wasn't from the Yips, and I've got a thing to say about that in a second. But the Don't Tell the Boys
Tell the
song.
boys.
Holy cow! I remember when I first heard that song earlier this year. I was going through some really difficult stuff in my life at that time. I think I might have even texted you, Justin, with that song, because I was texting every guy friend in my life that song because I just was so emotionally vulnerable at that moment, and I was like, this song is life changing for me. And then obviously the Yips comes out. Still to this day for 2025, one of my favorite songs of 2025 is The Milkman from the Yips. So
It's so
great
good.
album, such a Lindsay album. So glad that you picked that one too. It's
Well-
such a great album.
I'm going to be really honest. I tweeted about PD USA so much that somebody who actually worked on the album knew about him because they followed me. They're like, hey, I think I'm actually going to work with him. I'm like, okay, awesome. He's like, thanks for tweeting about him so much. So if you have music that you're passionate about, you should just keep tweeting about them because it will
right.
influence their next stuff.
It's true.
Great pick. Great pick.
I agree.
All right, who's next?
Yosef,
Okay, sure.
Jonah.
Joe Nut? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So number 3 is Pruning of the Lower Limbs by Moving Mountains for me.
Oh yeah.
That the back half of this year has been extremely difficult for me, and I feel like this is the album that really just embodied a lot of that feeling, and while still being very accessible and but lyrically I could really relate, especially Everyone is Happy and Nothing is Good, Blue, and then Wedding Clothes, and it just it just really it hurts so good, I guess you could say. And I think the only reason why it's not higher on the list is I mean, it's my most listened to album of the year in terms of like going back and looking at your Wrapped or recap or whatever it is that you have. But yeah, phenomenal album, much welcome return, because they've been absent for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But yeah, just an absolutely gorgeous record.
Great call, man. Great call. Yeah, I can see why, knowing kind of like where you've been at in like a mental space recently, why that album would really mean a lot to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually my ears perked up when Lindsay mentioned about like kind of like a song about friendship breakups, because I feel like some of these songs could actually be interpreted in that way as well.
Totally.
And in fact, I'm writing about one and going to be laying vocals down on one later this weekend. So that's just definitely been a theme that has been woven inside the record. And very special record to me at this point.
Is that the song that goes backstabber, fuck you, fuck you?
No, it's not that bad.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
That was hilarious.
Maybe not as
You
quite
didn't
as
have to
heartfelt.
dedicate a song to Justin, Joe. That's so nice of you.
Goodness gracious.
Eh.
Okay, but basically, like, while we were getting all this set up, I had already done my, like, top 25 for the year. And just to make sure we didn't have overlap, in my head, I was just going to, like, as you guys were picking, I was going to make sure that I didn't pick something that y'all had. So, like, I have it, this list is, like, up behind my setup right now, just to make sure that I don't pick something that y'all do. But
Good call.
yeah, my number 3 this year is actually my most listened to record, and that would be Deftones' Private Music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's Joe's favorite band, too.
dude, I freaking love Deftones. Sorry, I meant but yeah, it's if I'm not mistaken, it's their 10th studio album. And they did it with the same producer that they did Korno Yokon and Diamond Eyes with. So I felt like it kind of bridged the gap between Korno Yokon and then, like, no disrespect to Gore and Ohms, but I didn't love those records as much as, some of their earlier discography. But I really liked Private Music. I thought all the singles were great. I loved all the artwork that came with it. Even all the little, like, production, like, like toys and all that kind of stuff. It's just a fun record. I feel like they got back to making music that I would hear on, like, a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed it.
I feel that.
It was one of my favorite albums of the year as well. I have it in my top 10. I forget exactly where in the top 10 it lands, but yeah, great album. I do think there's a few songs from Ohms that I like more than any of the songs in this album, but as a cohesive unit, it probably is, in my opinion, better than Ohms as a cohesive unit. So, but incredible album. Also, the album artwork is so sick.
It's so cool.
That green snake with that white background, so cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, so my turn for top 3?
Yeah,
right?
go
Or
ahead.
for my
Mace.
third?
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually going to make a last-second change here because looking at my third and fifth album, actually, I kind of want to make a little switch. This is what, like, 2025, it was such a hard year for me to, like, actually get things ranked. Like, I kind of had a good sense of what my top 10 was, but, like, getting something where, like, this is my third and this is my second and this is my first, like, that was really tough. I think I'm actually gonna make a change though, last second. And my number 3 now will be from The World is a Beautiful Place, and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die. And the album is called Dreams of Being Dust. Okay, so to just say a little bit about this album. There was a few albums like in the mid 2010s from The World is a Beautiful Place that I really, really liked. Including Harmless, which I think was 2015, so literally a decade ago. That album is potentially a top 50 album all time for me. Like, I love that album. I listen to it pretty regularly, multiple times a year still. And but then the last like number of albums that have come out from them since then, I'm like, I've been sort of okay on, but nothing has really captured my imagination like that album. But they've kind of increasingly became a little bit more indie pop-ish. And they kind of took the route that Foxing took. And Lindsay, you'll appreciate this, right? So, for a while, obviously World is a Beautiful Place, very kind of, like, was that fourth or third wave? I always forget which one it is of emo. Third. You would probably know better that history, Lindsay, but whatever it is, third or fourth wave of emo, probably fourth wave, I think. Foxing's kind of in that same ballpark same world of emo. And then each one of those bands kind of got a little bit poppier with each album. And then all of a sudden, Foxing last year, which I think was maybe my top album last year. I forget exactly.
I think it was mine.
It was so good.
They all of a sudden just like went post-hardcore. And that's exactly what The World is a Beautiful Place did on this album, to the point where it's not even just like post-hardcore in some parts of the album. It's just straight up hardcore. It's like some of the heaviest hardcore riffs, some of the heaviest like hardcore screaming you've ever heard in an album.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So that album is truly, I just was not expecting that at all. And then they just went this hardcore, post-hardcore route, and it's some of the best you've ever heard in your life. I mean, it's all the things you love about The World is a Beautiful Place and post-hardcore and hardcore. It's just super cool. So anyway, that's my number 3.
Yeah, I dig that. That's a good pick, Mace. Very good pick. That was on my honorable mentions list as well. I do have a quick question. Are we going to allow EPs this year? Because I usually give you shit for picking EPs, and I don't usually ever pick EPs because I'm like, it's albums of the year, not EPs of the year. But so we're okay with EPs?
Sure.
Okay, this is not an EP. Modern Worries by Tyson Motzenbacher, I think, was an absolutely fantastic album that blew my mind. Last album was good. Milk Teeth was great from a couple years ago. But this record it spoke to me in a completely different way. It's very lyric forward. So this record was recorded in a way that was just really, really interesting to me because it feels like Tyson Motzenbacher is like, like the frou-frou people, or maybe some of you guys. Maybe me every once in a while. Do you ever do like those like meditations, like where you try to like open your third eye or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Anybody? You're muted, Justin. No one knows. Okay, fine. Okay, so
I wasn't allowed to do meditation.
Well, I dove into it quite a bit back when I was in like college and stuff like that, and a lot of like guided meditation would talk about like trying to open your third eye and like you like start to like feel warmth all down your body and everything like that. But like the way that it's recorded, it feels like Tyson Motzenbacher is like sitting or like singing from like my third eye. So I don't even know how to explain that in like a more succinct way, but that's kind of how it feels. So it feels like it's almost coming from your own self, but it's like the voice that lives within inside you. So it's a really, really interesting way that he recorded it. But lyrically is where it really like hits me in a completely different way. So many like fresh and unique lyrical pieces here. The themes of each song are completely different. It's like talking about like, how do you love someone in a world that is like so weird right now? And how do we just like unplug from the digital world and maybe aliens are real and things like that. So it gets really, really strange and esoteric, but it never feels ungrounded in any singular ways. It just hit me in a completely new way that made me feel like this is kind of a record that I've been needing, especially in this moment in life. So that's my number 3.
When we interviewed him, that honestly was like probably a top 10 interview we've done
ever.
For me,
I think it's
just
top. I think it's our best interview ever. Not because of us by any means, but just because the way he's able to express his thinking as a musician and as a lyricist it's unrivaled to anything I've or to anyone else that we've ever talked to.
Yeah, he just was so open and honest about just his thought process around obviously the album, but just like his own anxieties, his own dreams, all of that. It was so well done. This album was incredible. Obviously the musicianship of it is incredible too. So yeah, it's a great album through and through. It's just he's such a solid singer-songwriter.
Yeah. And a genuine soul.
Yeah. So great album, great pick.
Thank you.
All right, number 2. Lindsay, you want to take it away again?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go like really kind of basic with mine, but I feel really good about it. Number 2 is Hayley Williams' Ego Death at the Bachelorette Party.
Oh.
Such a great record.
Not basic at all. What are you talking about?
I know. It just, I feel like it's like really mainstream, but at this point, but I just cannot stop listening to this damn album. It's just like, it's some of the best songwriting that I've ever heard. Like, there are just so many verses that just take me out. Like, True Believer, every single verse is fantastic. Like the Jimmy Fallon performance that she did, and to do it on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah.
Like, there are just so many layers that were happening there. Like, there are some like really fun ones. There are it's hard. People are talking about their favorite songs, and I can't choose a favorite. That's like I could probably choose one of my favorite kids easier than I could choose one of her favorite. Like,
Dang.
Do it
don't
now.
tell them.
Do it now.
Right now.
You won't.
Yeah, rank your children.
Chester, who's my dog, but like they know that. They know that. He's 11 years old. He doesn't have much longer. But no. So sorry, I'm making like 6 different jokes I shouldn't be making. Anyway, so Hayley Williams, Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party. Did you see the In the Garden performance that she did of Kill Me?
No.
Okay, you guys need to do it, because she goes into the second verse and then she starts incorporating what is the song? But like she does a Me Without You song. She incorporates a Me Without You song into her performance.
Oh, cool.
And then goes back into I'm gonna have to send the link. But it's just phenomenal. Like, she incorporates so many different influences in there. It's an important album at a time when we need to have music like that. And the work that she's doing alongside it, like basically saying, if you're homophobic, if you're transphobic, you're not allowed at my shows, to like go out, like talk about radical racial justice and like say things like the South will not rise again until it's paid for every sin. I think it's maybe one of the most important albums of the year, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I cannot stop. I just love it. I love her. I love everything about it.
It's the record, other than the Deftones record. It's probably the second most listened to on the list that I have. And my girlfriend and we just like constantly have it playing at our apartment and stuff. So and like being a Nashvilleian, it resonates a little differently too. So I don't know. I'm super proud of her for doing her thing and just kind of taking her own lane and running with it. So
I think there's something to be said as well. Like, I don't know about you guys, how big of like Paramore fans you are, but
massive.
I never was.
Big.
I never was a very big Paramore fan, but I really, really do like this record.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody and he's like, I swear, like if she just breaks at Paramore and just does this, I'm a huge Paramore fan, but I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel too. And I seriously cannot stop. I was talking with Keegan Ozinski because I shared all of my most played albums of the year.
And she goes, it's crazy that that's your top most played album and it came out 2 months ago. And it's like, I'm not taking it off of my rotation. Like, it's just a constant loop. The second that I hit Parachute and then whatever new song she's adding to the end of it. And that's another one, is Parachute. Like, I seriously have never heard the emotions that she brings to the second verse. Like, she is locked in, and it feels almost bad listening to it because you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to know this. Like, I don't know. It's like just like rage and anger and like sadness, just all it's so good. The vocal work on there is exceptional. The writing on there is exceptional. It's just a fantastic album, and I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
I will say Mason and I have kind of a bone to pick with Haley because
do you not get the tickets?
no, we were hoping to have her on at some point. And Mason desperately wanted to ask her about the Chariot and like her time hanging out with them and stuff like that. And she went on a podcast, not our podcast, and discussed somebody had asked her about maybe is actually a listener of our podcast. Who knows? Because I can't imagine anyone else would have like thought about this in particular. But he asked her about the Chariot and Me Without You and like those formative years, and she like talked about it like decently at length about it. So, you know, that's something that I'm kind of upset that she didn't.
Mason, are you crying?
Oh. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
The second you hear her on like it's just, you know, I don't know, like on it and shot each other on. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. The Fiance.
Yeah.
I love her. I love that woman. She is holding my sanity in her hands like a little baby bird.
She is true. I've not listened to the album yet, but she's like truly one of a kind. Just yeah. Overall, I think I've heard like maybe like some little bits and pieces here of the album, but my goodness, like, and I will say I was really disappointed I did not get a ticket to the show because she like was playing these like smaller like they're still like big venues, at least in my opinion, of venues here in the Twin Cities, but she ended up getting a venue here in the Twin Cities that was still to me really big but way too small for her caliber, and the tickets were outrageous. Like they were like $500 each or something.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, and that's general admission for like $500 each. I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna do that.
Like when they do more intimate settings like that, how do they make money if they don't jack up the prices? Like I saw Lana Del Rey in a 2,000 cap room.
Dang, that's sick.
Right after she came out with Norman fucking Rockwell. And it was incredible because the tickets were only like $25. It felt like I was like stealing.
Yeah. That's insane. I feel like I was telling my husband this earlier because I bought David Byrne tickets for April today.
I want to go
I'm
so
so
bad.
excited.
I want to go so
I do
bad.
too. I like every time I log into Ticketmaster, I feel like I am entering a war zone, and like I come out with a little bit of trauma. Like not trying to discredit people's experiences, but I feel like it's comparable. I'm just going out tonight. I'm getting canceled. I'm gonna have no social media presence after tonight. I'm gonna love it.
Justin, number 2 album.
Number 2. I really can't decide. But I'm gonna go with so White Reaper's Only Slightly Empty is gonna be my number 2. So I had kind of been flip-flopping the Deftones record with that one. But this record's just really fun. Do any of y'all listen to White Reaper at all? Like just pulling the class? Okay, so they're kind of in that like class of bands like Military Gun, Drug Church, like
oh hell yeah,
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like White Reaper's been in some like Taco Bell commercials and stuff like that. Like but this new record's just like fun, and it's fuzzy in the right spots, and like I don't know, like, there's some people online that complain that like the vocalist is like a acquired taste or whatever, but I don't know, it's just like it kind of does this weird thing for me where it's like almost nostalgic, where it makes me want to like go run around outside and like, I don't know, play sports in the summertime or like pick up a skateboard again or something like that. So um, they're just a really fun band, and I really recommend them to anybody trying to just get a scope of like modern like fun punk music.
Hell yeah. I'll
Yeah,
check it out.
yeah, please do.
I just have to
Not
say,
heard 'em.
I don't know anything about this band. If you were to tell me to like name a band that starred in a Taco Bell commercial, White Reaper would be
Yeah.
a good name for this. That's very...
Turnstile did it.
Yeah,
did
Turnstile
they?
did it. But like I would throw them in that like I said, that like class of bands. Like they're just fun.
So my number 2 album is a band that I've been listening to for a number of years now, and I don't know what it is about this band, but their previous albums, I enjoyed them. I've seen them live and I've enjoyed them. But this album in particular just really did something for me, and it has all the things that I think each one of us love in music. It has all the metalcore elements that you would love in music, each one of us love in music. It has all the mathy things that we all love in music. And I think what this album does differently than their previous albums is they really add a lot of emo elements, and not just emo elements that are the sort of like Jimmy Eat World kind of guitar riffs that are emo-y, but they also like vocally do kind of the fun like orchestral kind of vocal elements that we hear like even in something like My Chemical Romance. And so anyway, the band is the Calderon Boys, and the album is called I Don't Want to See You in Heaven. It's just incredible album. It kind of has this sort of concept-y thing going on where, like, you get the first song is kind of not really a song. It's kind of this intro thing, and they've got the outro thing. Just every moment in this album feels like a full cohesive album. It's so good. It has everything, again, that I think each one of us love about alternative music. It's just great all around. There are so many songs in this album where it's like literally you would like mosh to this in a way where like you've never moshed before. Like it's so heavy. And then there's parts of this album where it feels like the most emo thing ever, where it could have been a ripoff of a My Chemical Romance album. There's just it's got everything, and it does it so cohesively. It's done so well. Anyway, my number 2 album for sure.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick. It's one of those that should be on all of our lists.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if like I either stole it from one of you for your number 1 or potentially for an honorable mention. But it's such.
I've actually never listened to them before.
Bro,
Dude, Joe.
They're really good.
I gotta check it out because I see. But the thing is that, not to go off on a tangent here, but I've actually intentionally been trying to limit how much new music I listen to, because I feel like in this streaming age, I haven't been able to connect to music as much as I want to. And so I really limit how much new music I get exposed to. Like I'll tell people if they send me something, I'm just like, don't take it personally if I don't listen to it. I really want to absorb the music like I used to back when I would walk down the street with my Walkman and I only had enough money to have like, buy one CD a month,
Yeah.
And so that CD was the CD I absorbed. And so, and so it's nothing. I mean, I'm sure it probably like, I'm sure it's awesome. There's so much good music out there. I miss connecting with music like the way that I used to.
Mm. You know what,
That's
Joe,
so
that
good.
actually brings up a really interesting point that I think is super important for everyone to hear. Because, we do these top albums of the year, and Spotify makes it such a big deal. Like, you got to share that one post a year that, you show, how many hours you've listened to X artist or whatever. But that's really not all that important, right? It comes down to like what speaks to you and what's important to you. What is it about whatever record that you're listening to? It doesn't matter if it's, you know, a couple years old or if it's brand new or if it's, you know, 50 years old. If it speaks to you, it speaks to you. And you shouldn't force yourself to listen to something else if there's something speaking to you in that moment.
Exactly. I mean, that's how Sleep Token ended up on my top most streamed songs. It was funny because two of the songs really just captured me. I enjoyed them fine, but I wouldn't say that I was really surprised they were on there because I think they measure these listens by minutes, not by like song clicks. So, and their songs, the songs that the two songs that really stood out to me are really long. So, because by no means did their new album make it in my top 10.
Right.
So, I mean, and I'm not, that's not hating. Like I said, I like them just fine, but it wasn't a top 10 album for me.
Sure.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to take us off into a tangent there.
No, I think it's an important thing to
that's a good
remember,
point.
though.
But you also should feel guilty you haven't listened to the Calvin stuff.
No, I will definitely check it out. It's the exact same thing with there's that band that you Rollo Tomasi. Like,
Yeah.
I listened to it, I'm like, this is incredible. But I think for me, if it's something like I can hear it and I'm like, this is technically amazing, you know, but I'm a very much a lyric person, so if I can't connect with that, and again, especially with the back half of this year being pretty brutal, you know, it kind of falls by the wayside, which is so unfair to the artists, you know, because so much work goes into writing and recording these songs, and I'm just kind of like, dude, like I really wish I could I wish Google would pay me just to listen to music all day. That would be sick. Like, you know, just sit there and then you just absorb it and then, you know, and just reflect on it. But sorry, I don't mean to derail our combo.
No, good call there. Yeah. All right, my number 2 is it's one that I did not know was going to be a big record this year. I think a lot of music outlets are claiming it to be one of the best albums of the year. And it's Bleeds by Wednesday. Lindsay got excited.
I love it.
Dude,
Sorry.
it's so cool. It's so cool.
It's so good.
It's like an indie emo country gaze record. Which
For
doesn't...
the gays.
What's that?
For the gays.
Did you say it's for the gays?
It's for the gays, yeah. For the gays.
I think it's
gays for the gays.
I think it's for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. It's such an interesting record, and I feel like it touches on so many nuanced positions in the music world, but also like in real life. So like genre wise, I mean, you can't really fit it into any particular box, right? But the way that they've weaved these multiple genres in so many cool ways is so impressive to me. And Carly Hartzman, who's the lead singer and stuff like that, she goes from like this like twangy kind of like 1950s style Patsy Cline-esque type singing, and then all of a sudden the very next line she'll be like straight up screaming, and it's a combination that I've just never heard. And I know this is like their 6th studio album, right? I've listened to one of their other albums. This one though, like, just captured me perfectly. And there's a couple different songs that like, you know, transport me to like certain places. There's a song called Townies, and I just imagine myself at my small town bar, and just like everything that goes on there is exactly what I imagine in this song. Yeah, it's great record. You have to go check it out. super experimental, but being very, very accessible at the same time. I've shown it to like my country loving neighbors where I live out here in the middle of nowhere, and everyone just listens to country around me, and they're like, this is really cool. And they're even okay with like the screaming parts, which is pretty neat. So, and you could also play it, downtown Minneapolis or Chicago or whatever else, and it would fit right in there too. So,
can I nerd out about this record?
Please
for
do.
5 seconds?
Please do. You're probably going to nerd out way better than I would.
I think that Carly Hartzman is maybe one of the best like lyricists on the scene today.
Yes.
Like Rat Saw God, the last album, it's like William Faulkner but less problematic for today's world. Like
yeah,
where it's just like so American Gothic, but she has this line on Fish Pepsi where it's we watched a Fish concert and Human Centipede, two things now I wish I had never seen. And, like, it's just I had that on while I was in the gym and I like just lost it. Like I'm just like sitting there and I just like had to stop what I was doing and laugh. But we
had a very similar situation there. I was in the middle of doing bench press and I about dropped the weight on me because I heard it and I was like, wait, what?
It's like one of those ones where like you remember exactly where you are when you hear that. Like Townies has a line where it says, "You sent everybody my nudes, but I don't care because you died," or something like that.
Because you're dead.
And then like Elderberry Wine is maybe one of my top played songs, where it's so pretty, and like she has a line about like, said I want to have your babies because you freckle and I tan. I found comfort in that angels just don't give a damn. Like there's just sweet parts, but it's funny and it's every genre. Like Wasp is a crazy song.
Yeah.
I had tickets to.
I love that you said American. I love that you said like American Gothic. Like there's this kind of idea that like American authors have like their own completely different style of writing altogether, right? Like if you think about like your John Steinbecks and individuals like that, where they're kind of capturing like this unique heart of America and this strange culture that we have. She fits into that perfectly.
Yeah. Quarry from her last album, I think, is one of the best examples where it's just like describing a town where it's like kids in a pool, like a blow-up pool with lice in their hair, and their parents are outside arguing on the. It's like I grew up in that neighborhood. Like it's just perfectly described, and I love them. I think they're one of the best bands on the scene right now.
Yeah. They deserve all the flowers right now, I think.
Great pick.
The way that you guys talked about that album, and then the PDUSA, like really, like I've made notes. I'm just like, I'm gonna go check this shit out. It's awesome. I love the passion. So I'm just like, fuck, dude. I don't want to miss out. So.
Yeah, those are two ones where like if you're a lyric person, I think you'll really like those. They're just lyrically phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
Love it. All right, to our number one. We ready, Lindsay?
Oh, did I do a number two?
No, sorry, Joe.
Joseph.
It's all yours. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Go, Jonah.
Like, what's your number two, Joe?
It's a band from Arizona called Through a Glass Darkly.
Oh.
And sorry, what did you say?
I said Jimmy Eat World. Because that's the only band from Arizona that I can think of. Did you say Through the Glass Darkly?
Through a Glass Darkly. And the album is, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, I think it's Latin, Speramus, Meliora, Resurgit, Cineribus.
You did great.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Catholic Mass right now.
Yes. And it's an album that kind of, like, it was a left hook. Like I didn't see it coming, but it's kind of like this post-rock, post-metal kind of combo, and you just really get lost in it. And I don't think. Sometimes I think, as much as I love lyrics, I think sometimes music just says things that lyrics can't even convey.
Yeah.
And it's totally It's, completely instrumental. And I mean, they have, you know, songs on there called like From Our Wounded Heaven, With Frayed Prayers, In Quiet Hopes of Absolution. And there's this despair and then kind of this despondent kind of feeling that just, and I think it just really reflected, where I've been at. And they'll just repeat the same like measures of music for just like 2 minutes. And yeah, I think all their songs are like freaking, yeah, the shortest song on this record is 6 minutes and 35 seconds. So it's very immersive, and it's about an hour, and definitely, I don't know, I really kind of get lost in it, and I think it's really good to take a walk or drive and just I just I just kind of float somewhere else, and
Contemplate.
just a devastatingly haunting record.
Love it.
Great album. Great album. Lindsay, now to your number one.
Okay. Have you guys been geese pilled yet?
Yes.
Yes. It's Geese. Getting Killed is my number one. I cannot stop listening to this album. I didn't see it coming either, because I think I've listened to them like one other time, and it just was not a band I thought was for me. And then everybody started talking about the new album Getting Killed, and I put it on, and it didn't leave my rotation. I listened to it all of the time. I think that it's one, lyrically, it's a very good album, because I think that, especially for me, coming from from a very religious but sort of negative background with religion, it's really interesting because it feels like this is what religion could be if it's not traumatizing. It's somebody who finds later in life it's actually comforting. And he has this line where it's like Joshua in the streets of Jericho, I'm going to kick your ass up and down the streets, or something like that, where it's he just weaves religion in really unexpected ways. They have the song at the end, Long Island City, Here I Come, makes me feel like I can probably break through every single brick wall that's in front of me, just full speed, just running. And every single day, I find a new song to just hyper focus on. I feel like it came out in October, and I just cannot stop with it. That song's there. It starts out with this song where it's just kind of jazzy, kind of bluesy, and then all of a sudden he's screaming in the background, "There's a bomb in my car." And it's so weird, and Cameron Winter's voice is very odd. It's very operatic and lovely at times, but then just very deep and bluesy and at other times. And it's the most New York City art kid album I've ever come across, where it should be pretentious, but it's so accessible. And I love it. I love it very much.
Good call.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out. I've listened to quite a bit of Geese, but I need to check it out much more in order to kind of get that same feeling that you're talking about.
Yeah, I did not see it coming, because and I've started going back and listening to their previous album, 3D Country, since then, and Cameron Winter's solo stuff as well. And it's really great, but Getting Killed is just where it's at for me.
Does it have, because clearly I've not been geese pilled, does it have kind of does it have a brother sister or It's All Crazy vibe from You Without You?
Ooh.
I would not say so
know.
Personally.
No, but his voice is weird, so you're right on the money with that. But
even the instrumentation is not as kind of artsy, because when I think of brother sister or It's All Crazy, the instrumentation is pretty, to me, pretty art rock.
I can kind of see parallels in It's All Crazy. And what's the one where the Fox and the Crow. I just spent all last week listening to Me Without You on repeat, and I can't think of any of the song titles, which is insane. But the Fox and the Crow and the Cookie or whatever, it kind of does do that sort of talking guitars at places. And it's pretty artsy, but watching videos of them perform, have you ever like watched the videos of MGMT at the beginning of their career doing kids to like,
ridiculous.
It has those vibes. It has those vibes where you're like, oh, this is going to be the next big thing in music. I truly believe that. Like, if you're not hearing about Geese right now, next year you're going to get really tired of hearing about them. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
It's great. JJ, what's your number one album of the year?
So I'm gonna kind of cheat. I have a tie, and
if you say two albums, you can't do it.
Just say they're twin albums.
It's Pupil Slicer. Come on.
So
if you say
Pupil
two albums,
Slicer's
the Idle
Fleshwork
Thread
is
album
one.
gets delayed 1 year more.
That's fine. But yeah, it is Pupil Slicer's Fleshwork, and then also Grey Haven's Keep It Quiet.
Both are great records, but you got to choose one of them, dude. You can't pick both.
Choose one child.
If there is a gun to my head, I would probably say it's Grey Haven's Keep It Quiet.
Okay.
This is a band that is just aging like a fine wine, and I don't know, the record just feels like, I don't know, it feels like I'm watching a movie from start to end. It just kind of, it's this nice little ride where like there's heavy moments, there's melodic moments. I don't know. It's their best work. And then I just freshly saw them like on that album release tour too. So maybe there's some recency bias there, but this band just can't do anything wrong. And they're just so talented, and all the singles are great. I know some people thought, some of them were a little weird or whatever, but yeah, again, trying to be concise, but like if you haven't listened to Grey Haven at all, this is a great place to start and then work your way backwards, because they're one of the best bands doing it right now, which is, I know I already said that with the Callous Cowboys, but literally like Grey Haven and the Callous Cowboys are like right up there. So
they finally got some good album artwork for this record too.
Yeah.
Grey Haven is awesome, dude. I really like the new record. My only regret is that I haven't had enough time with this record yet. So that's the only reason why it's in my top 10, but it's not cracking the top 3. But
it's definitely a record. It's definitely a record you have to take time with too.
Right. And the thing is, I feel like that's who they are, especially, after, I would say, starting with the record before this, they've got so many dimensions to them, and they're just, what I like about them is they clearly have their influences, but they just absorb it in such a way that's just undeniably just themselves. Like, yes, you can cite like, kind of like the mathcore kind of stuff, but like Brent's voice is very unique, especially his singing. He sounds like a man's man, like kind of vocal, like a, just straight up dude. He doesn't have like that high pitched kind of emo voice, I guess, that is in a lot of these kind of like heavier bands. But yeah, just like Technicolor Blues is just awesome.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly touch on Pupil Slicer too, unless Cullen, if that's like your record. But
no, I love Pupil Slicer, but it's
okay.
It's a little bit lower down my list for me.
Cool. So quickly, this is a band that, ironically enough, I found out about on this podcast thanks to you, Cullen. And this record came out, and I've probably texted you a dozen times, just like, I can't stop listening to it. It's just heavy in all the right places, and then there's just some like weird little things too that I just like love, like the little like noises and stuff in the background, and like, I don't know, it's just I I've been driving to that record a lot. If I'm like working in the mornings and like doing some like physical stuff or whatever, like I've had it on in my headphones a ton. It's such a great record. I've been telling all my heavy music pals about it. But
I don't know a
yeah,
band that does like a full frontal assault better than Pupil Slicer, but doesn't like completely turn you off with it or make you feel scared or make you feel like, all right, I can only listen to so much of this. Like you can listen to it pretty much indefinitely.
What are
Which
the
is
highlight?
pretty
What
wild.
are the top, like you say, 2 tracks off this record? Because heavy music's my shit.
so I really like. It's like I'm gonna say it wrong. It's like sarcophagant or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's called? Or
Yeah, I think it's called
uh,
sarcophagus.
and then the other one I really liked is
Sacrosanct. That's what it is.
yes, okay. And then I really liked Gordian as well. But the whole record's great. You could throw a dart at that list and you would enjoy it. So
I love their tagline too is trans inclusive radical hatred. So
Nice.
brilliant.
Great albums. Joe, what's your number one?
Yeah, so this band I think is at the forefront of heavy music right now. I think they've just released their best work. Uh, they're
Sleep
from
Token.
Uh, they're from Scotland, and
Wait, Blindside?
it's
Is it Mogwai?
Oh wait,
it's
I'm thinking
it's Zenith
something.
by Bleed from Within, and
Oh,
hell yeah.
and it's got everything that I like about heavy music, but also it's accessible. There's even a guest vocal from Braun from Mastodon on one of the songs. It's just pure groove. There's moments where it's Pantera without the racism, like, and then there's moments where it's just complete thrash, and the lyrics aren't the most complex, but I think what my favorite thing about Scott Kennedy's ability is that every time I hear him like scream or do that kind of like pitch screaming thing, is I believe him. Like it's like, okay, because there's a lot of vocalists out there that are great, but I feel like they're just you know kind of going through the motions. But this is a dude that I feel like, oh shit, like especially with some of the lyrical content, because a lot of their lyrical content has to do with like Scotland being like an independent country and whatnot, and he just, yeah, like I love his voice. And they're also one of the bands that they'll have like 20 different kinds of riffs for one song. And so it's just kind of like, and then and especially if you're, and Ali Richardson's also just one of the best drummers in the scene right now. You can't fuck with him. He's also in Silosis. So, so he's technical, but he's got groove, and it's just for if you're just like pissed, just a great fucking record.
Hell yeah, dude. I need to listen to this.
Dude, like the first song just goes off into like, it's like heavy, and then it just goes off into another corner, but it's just like, oh, now this is the other side of heaviness that we do. And it's just, and with, I mean, it just, they just don't hold back. And I'm just kind of like, fuck yeah, dude. And I think you'll really like it. If,
Hell yeah.
It's, I love how they also kind of, in a sea of metalcore bands that are kind of like doing a lot of the octane kind of like stuff, these guys are like bringing kind of more of a metalcore. They're not even, I would say they're heavier than metalcore, but they're not quite like death metal or anything. But they also they're bringing thrash in there. They're bringing groove metal, like I said, with Pantera, without the racism, and it's just straight up just balls, big hairy balls. And I, as a big hairy dude, I'm like, fuck yeah. But yeah.
Wow, that sounds like an album that you've been PRing to.
PRing.
Oh, Joe, like you haven't like deadlifted to this song yet, or to this album?
Dude, I'm
Personal
fucking
record,
fat, dude. The only thing I lift is food.
I mean, maybe you've eaten more hot dogs than any other time to this album. I don't know.
Yeah, I do one of these.
Whoa, Joe. All right, Joe.
I love dog into some riffs, baby. Just
Here comes Joey Chestnuts.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure
balls.
Justin maybe like a month ago sent me a TikTok or a reel of a guy, or like the reel was like the type of guy who eats hot dogs for the shape, not for the taste.
I sure did.
I'm just saying, Joe. You might not be beating the allegations.
Beating is an interesting word to use there.
All right, a couple more here. Cullen, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Sure, I can. All right, my final record is an EP. This is totally an unexpected record for me. I don't know how I found this band, but they're called Spares. And their EP is also called Spares. It is a self-titled EP. I don't know if you guys are a fan of Interpol at all, but think Interpol as if they were a hardcore post-punk band. So like super angular riffs, really like janky, almost like grungy punk bass lines and stuff like that. Every once in a while they're going to throw in like some like weird like Minus the Bear kind of situation. It almost doesn't make sense. But then also like it's like the guy who's singing, I don't know his name, because this is an insanely small band. I think they're out of Oregon. The guy who's
it's
the
crazy
singer
that
sounds-
your top album of the year is an album where, at least on Spotify, there's 300 monthly listeners.
Is that it? I don't have
Wow.
Spotify, so I don't know. This record is insanely slept on, though. Like, I've listened to this just about as much as any other artist this entire year. That's saying a lot, I think. It's so well produced. It's so well written. It is so much fun. I am still very upset because we asked if they would come on and they said no because you're a Christian adjacent podcast, which
No way.
kind of upsets me. But I still really, really dig this band.
God, we gotta stop getting Justin Jones on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, you're
Dang
killing
it,
us.
guys.
So yeah, like I was saying, they'll have like these like the singer has like this like Interpol. I don't know what the guy from Interpol, like the lead singer for Interpol, but he kind of has like that kind of like timbre to his voice. But then every once in a while he'll sound like the Idols guy, the lead singer from Idols, and then like he'll go into like this like guttural scream that just it's like a yelling scream that kind of comes out of nowhere, and it sounds so delectable. And then every once in a while there'll be like this like cool like Russian circles kind of like riffage. It's just really, really out there, but feels very grounded, very easy to listen to. It feels like a record I've never heard before, or an EP I've never heard before, or anything like it even. So that's my number one. I really hope that this band takes off because they deserve to, big time. I know I've talked to Mason about them.
Yeah, I
all
was
the
about to
time,
say
so.
you've definitely sent me their stuff, and yeah, it's great. It's great. It truly is great. All right, my number one, totally opposite direction of 300 monthly listeners, and a band that many people have not heard of. And
Taylor Swift.
Oh,
You're picking Taylor
not
Swift.
quite, not quite.
I did notice that on our Spotify Wrapped or whatever that you sent me, that many of our listeners are big fans of Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
which
well,
is very strange.
I think she pads those numbers.
Whoever
Sorry,
that
I'm on
is,
the conspiracy.
you better come forth. All right, the artist and the album. That is my number one. This is an artist that came out with an album just a few years ago. Became one of the biggest albums of the year. Became one of the biggest rock bands of the year. And I think they've just followed this up with an even better record. I think whatever they've already kind of struck gold with, they've even gotten better at that.
Oh,
with
it's
this
Turnstile.
album.
I get you. Just say it.
It is Turnstile. It's never enough. It's such a good album. Everything I loved about Glow On, everything about that is better with this album, in my opinion. All their softer stuff is getting softer and more like pretty and like kind of 80s, like
Melodic,
almost
yeah.
like post-punk, like new wavy. And all their hardcore stuff that they've done, especially from like Glow On or even like the album that The Real Thing is on. I forget what that, maybe the album's called Real Thing. All their hardcore stuff has gotten even more hardcore. Like they just mix it so well. It's so well done. They have some songs where it's like it's a combination of both of those things, where it's like you get this like very 80s like kind of synthy stuff, and then you get like right into a hardcore riff. And it's so cool. It's so well done. I love this album through and through. I've listened to it so much. I think on Spotify it was my most listened to album this year. It's so well done. I cannot praise this band enough. A few months ago, Cullen and I were at their concert, and I still have one of my toenails got bruised, and it's still
Mine
like
too.
I could show you all. Like I still got a bruised toenail from Turnstile. No, we don't need to see it, Cullen. All right, we're gonna see it.
Wait, so why are we
And this
getting
is for a new audience.
Just
New
free-
audience
just what
right
we
here.
wanted.
3-foot content?
Oh yeah. Oh god. Finally, we're gonna get monetized.
Pay me, bitch.
Anyways, just incredible album. One of my favorite shows I've ever been to was that Turnstile show a couple of months ago that Cullen came up to, and my my middle brother came up to, and he literally had never been to a hardcore show in his life, and he just fell in love with it. He was all into it. It was just so cool. I broke my glasses, lost my glasses. These are new pair of glasses. So everything about it, it's all incredible. It's so good. I love it. Turnstile is the best.
Turnstile is also another band that I've never listened to.
Joe, just get on Spotify once. See what happens.
You know what? I am going to listen to each one of these records that I haven't listened to before. I really like the way that you guys are like standing for them. So it's, I mean, there's clearly something special about these records, and that's why I love doing like these kind of countdown things and seeing what other people are into.
Well, clearly a lot of people are into Turnstile because Cullen, so much so, he's even gotten his foot polished by them.
That's right.
They were the first band to do a stage dive at a Tiny Desk concert.
That is true.
What's that riff though? That it's like a early 2000s pop hit. Or whatever. Do you guys remember that?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Is it?
And I know what you're talking about.
Keep on dancing or whatever.
Oh, I think so.
Is it that song that the riff from Birds or whatever is like the exact same almost?
I wouldn't know, but
I'm
sounds...
blanking right now. I'm just blanking right now, but it's almost the exact same riff from that early 2000s pop hit. So,
but it would make sense why.
Dancing.
I think it's that song, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, dude, I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
It would make sense
like that-
then why their riffs and obviously like just Brennan's like vocals, they're so catchy. It's because they literally are just like taking like pop stuff and turning them into hardcore riffs and hardcore vocal melodies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Gwen Stefani song.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Gwen Stefani.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
That would make sense.
Yep.
That would make sense. So, all right, well, that's on my number one. Let's just mention a couple honorable mentions because there are a few albums that have not been mentioned that I definitely want to mention. I would imagine you all want to just briefly mention too. So, very, 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 very quickly, what are a few albums that you want to mention?
Why
I'll
don't you start us off, dude?
I can start us off.
Yep.
Does that work?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Okay. We had Failed Sun on earlier on in the year. Denouement, or Denouement is how I think it's supposed to be pronounced. That record was killer. That one really set me off. Magic Alive, McKinley Dixon, one of the coolest hip-hop records I've heard in recent memory. Shish by Portugal the Man was a huge surprise. They pulled off some like metal all of a sudden, randomly out of nowhere. Threw me for a loop, and they did it well, like full-on screams and everything. The Future is Here, and Everything Needs to Be Destroyed by the Arm.
Oh,
was a
yes.
killer record,
Such a good album.
and it also got the thumbs up by Iggy Pop, so you know it's got the cool factor as well. And last but not least, I'll also say The Bad Fire by Mogwai, and Mogwai has always been in my top 5 most listened to artists every single year, and I see them whenever they're anywhere nearby. The Bad Fire is a killer record. So
Great album. Just a couple that I want to mention. One that got removed out of my top 5, top 3, back to top 5, but still obviously one of my favorite albums of the year. Fleshwater's 2000 In Search of Endless Sky.
it's a killer record.
They have a song on there called The Last Escape. Probably my most listened to, or at least certainly without a doubt, my most favorite song of 2025. Such a great album. They ended up, I think it was either earlier this year or maybe it was late last year, that they ended up touring with Deftones. They were like an opener for Deftones. Super big deal for them. I saw them earlier this year, I think sometime in November. One of my favorite shows I've been to earlier this year. Such a great live show. Such an incredible album. It's one of those, again, this is one of those years where it's like, I got to do a top 3, but it's like really, especially like for that like number 3 spot, it's really hard to compete for. That's an album that really should have been number 3, but there's so many other great number 3 albums. So that's right there for me. And then again, one of those other albums that should have been there for number 3 in most other years, but just couldn't quite make the cut this year. Moving Mountains, Pruning of the Lower Limbs. They also had one of my favorite songs this year on that album. And this is a band that has not, I don't think they've released anything for 12 years, and just came out of retirement, out of nowhere, released one of the best albums of the year. It's just everything you love about indie emo. It's so well done. They're everything I ever love about emo, and they do it all really well. And so anyway, Moving Mountains. I was going to mention Greyhaven. Obviously, JJ, you already mentioned them. The only other album I'll mention that hasn't been mentioned before, Thrice released an album this year, Horizons West. Great album. In fact, one of potentially my favorite Thrice song ever was on this album. It's called Nash. It is so heavy. It is so hardcore. It is so punk. It's so well done. I saw them play it live. It was chaos in the pit. It's so cool. So they do have, like, obviously, Thrice has really kind of gone into this like more ambient route. They do that, but they also clearly do some of this hardcore stuff still, and that is all represented on this album. So great album. Just couldn't quite make such a great year. So anyway, those are my honorable mentions. Other honorable mentions?
Joseph?
Okay. Yeah, sure. For me, I would say Advent's God is the End.
Yeah.
I like if I was like a little inebriated that was playing, I'd probably end up in jail. Like, just because it's so fucking heavy, and just Like it's awesome. Which is kind of the exact opposite of what the lyrics are about, but hey, it's all good. And then Hammocks, Nevertheless.
Great
Just
record.
gorgeous, lush. I mean, I'm a huge post-metal, post-rock fan. So yeah, and they've been dropping albums like every year and a half. And but it's just it brings a lot of peace. Uh but in a different way than the Through a Glass Darkly record does. Extortionists stare into the seething wounds. This is the first band that I've heard that does deathcore, but with very, very strong 90s Alice in Chains like vibe. And it just, like, I've never heard something like, I don't know, it's just such a like specific like area of rock that they're combining their kind of deathcore with. I'm just like, that's really cool. And there is shout out to Hope Deferred, Darkness Remains. I just love how brutal that record is. Don't agree with some of the lyrics, but definitely loving just the sheer brutality of it. Rivers and Nile, their self-titled record. I'm a sucker for melodic death metal. What can I say? Just great stuff. And I think, man, I think to myself, they would pair so well with a band like Becoming the Archetype, because they kind of have like a similar vibe in terms of like kind of that progressive flow. They're definitely doing their own thing. I'll mention a couple more. There's an EP called Alora by kind of like an R&B artist named L. Iliades, and it's just amazing baby making music. You know, like it's just I mean I love D'Angelo, I love Maxwell. You know, like just that kind of like vibe is just, I love it. So and
Everybody leave the room. It's time for
guitar
Joe
player
time.
too. What's that?
Everybody leave the room. It's time for Joe time.
It's time for Joe Nuts. But and then the last two I want to shout out are Explosions in the Sky. They did the soundtrack for American Primeval, which I thought
so good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's the first Explosions in the Sky record that I've listened to in a long time that I actually felt moved by. No shade towards them. I just, didn't connect. But this one, as I was watching American Primeval, I was just like, dude, this sounds like Explosions. And then, boom, lo and behold.
Yeah.
And the top honorable mention is, hopefully it's the name of the band, but they're called, I have a friend in the band, and they're like a cool blend of kind of like punk with pop, not pop punk, but it's like punk with pop elements and also like a heavy 90s influence. They've released 2 singles, and they're called Control. So Cuntrol. And you might also recognize her in her other band called I Set to Kill.
Oh yeah.
And so it sounds completely different than that band. But Anissa is the front person for Control, and I'm very stoked on it. She's kind of got that gravelly, kind of like shouty voice that's so sick. And I almost kind of like imagined, like, if they were to hit the road, they would pair really well with something like the Bronx, which is one of my favorite bands. So, but yeah, there you go.
Sick.
Great list.
Yones.
I'll burn through mine pretty quick, but I just want to point out this is like the third time I think I've done a album of the year list with you guys, and I did not put a rap artist in my top this time.
Or a pop diva.
So let's get into that. So there's a lot of really good rap this year, especially from Freddie Gibbs. He put out Alfredo 2. Tyler the Creator did Don't Tap the Glass. And then, like, I don't know, like, outside of, like, the rap world, like, there's a lot of really good pop music. And I know we were texting before this, and I made a joke about Sabrina Carpenter, but Man's Best Friend is one of the best records that came out this year. I have no shame. And then, like, Doja Cat put out a really good record. Lady Gaga put out a really good record. Probably my favorite pop record that came out this year was Kesha. She put out, like, Period. And honestly, that's probably my favorite show I've been to this year was seeing her in Nashville. But loved that record. And then from there, like with like the more heavier stuff, like Whitechapel's new record was great. Full of Hell put out a really good record. Your Spirit Dies put out a really, really, really good record. Spirit Box's Tsunami Sea is awesome.
That one didn't get more of a mention on here.
I'm shocked. So it's like sitting on like 6 on my list, but I was thinking that one of you guys would take it, so I just kind of let that one go. But yeah, other than that, like I mean, there's some good country that came out this year. Like Jason Isbell did Foxes in the Snow.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Childers did Snipe Hunter. Like the entire spectrum of music this year was so fun. It's really hard to articulate like how great this year has been. But the biggest honorable mention I have, if I can like really push for somebody on this list, is a band called Slow Joy put out a record called A Joy So Slow at Times I Don't Think It's Coming. And if you haven't listened to that band, you should check that record out. So yeah, that's my 2025 run through.
Dude, I always love your top 10 list because
I'm all over the place.
It's so weird. It's so weird. All right, Lindsay.
Okay, I was making sure I had all mine. I went like a lot more mellow this year, and I think I just kind of needed it mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything. So the ones that I really connected with this year were the Japanese Breakfast new one, Melancholy Brunettes. And
so good.
Yeah,
that one's definitely on my list.
I can't, it scratches a certain part of my brain, like on Magic Mountain, and like whenever she also sings the title line, oh, I love it. Horse Girl, Phonetics On and On, where it's like very simple music, but it's also very interesting, like just a lot of repetition. That one, I was just like at the beginning of the year. I didn't take it off. I recently got really into the Great Death album, Die in Love. I'd never heard of them. They opened for Foxing. They are fantastic. And Country Girl is just like a song that I'm not going to stop listening to for the next 3 months. Mama, My Blue Sky, which is like 90s sort of poppy, rocky. Like they remind me a lot of the band, or a band that you would have seen on the OC if they would have been around when the OC was happening. And also in that vein, the Beths, Metals. I loved that one. There was an album that came out at the beginning of the year named Ella Minus, or the artist's name is Ella Minus, and the album is Dia. I think she is a Brazilian artist, where it feels like apocalyptic pop, which is a very good sort of like thing for the year of 2025. And then my summer album was Daughter of Swords, Alex, where it was just like kind of like poppy and fun and a little sleazy and a little like just a little catchy, and yeah, I loved it. A really good year in music, and I had a really hard time making a list.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. I feel like this year has been the most difficult year for me to make any kind of ranking.
You say that every year.
I don't say that every year.
I swear.
Mason's the one that says that.
I know. Well, okay, yeah, Mason definitely does, but
I have pushed back on Mason numerous times in the past, where I've said, no, this year was actually kind of booty cheeks when it comes to making a list, because it was too easy, because there's like 3 good records that I liked. This year, there was a lot. There really was a lot. And I do concur with Mason from earlier on in the episode when he said that this is, in my opinion, one of the best years for music since 2011 maybe. I don't know. Music is healthy and it's going in the right direction. It might not be economically all that healthy for the music makers, but it is certainly a treat for us listeners.
Truly, truly one of the best years for me. Whether it ends up in hindsight becoming the best year, it's at least one of the best years, and I think we can all definitively say that. So, what an incredible year! I'm looking forward to next year. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there's already some teases of what might end up coming out. I'm excited for it. So
just want that blindside record. That's all I care about.
You never know.
That'll be my 1 through 10. All
Hell yeah.
You never know. So, well, thank you all for joining us. What an incredible year for music, and I look forward to next year, and we'll see what happens.
Round of applause to you beautiful people.
Yay!